There you are.
What up, brother?
Boy, I was treading water there without you.
Hey, man, you only been on 8 damn minutes.
You look good. You gave us a little scare a couple of weeks ago. I know you went to New York. You came back. You weren't feeling good. Can you give everybody an update on your health right now?
I feel great, man. I actually felt great like 2 days later. But I stayed sequestered for 10 days. Took them 10 days to get my results. So I really can't. I'm not going to complain, though, man. There's a lot of people out here struggling right now. So I can't complain. But, man, a couple things I want to get off my chest before we get started. Lance, number one, thank you. We've been friends for a long time. This is about the Alabama Hospitality Fund, trying to raise some money for people who are really going to be struggling, not just now, but it's going to be a while. You know, I think these people are going to really need a lot of help. We're not doing anything to make money. You know, when I bought into this business, I wanted to help Alabama. I wanted to own something in Alabama. And I got a great crew down there in Alabama. I miss y'all. Hopefully I'll see y'all soon, but we're going to raise a lot of money today, hopefully. I'm going to match. I'll figure out how much I'm going to match at some point.
What we need to do is get you drinking Redmont vodka, and then you'll match more, right? That's the way it works.
Isn't that kind of counterproductive? I'm drinking up the profits. That was the one thing I was concerned with when I bought Redmont. I'm like, man, between me and my friends, we could drink up all the profits.
Well, look, this is an awesome thing you guys are doing. And I know I talked to the team earlier. Redmont's going to match the first $5,000 in donations. You're going to match.
No, Lance, I'm going to change that. We're going to do more than that. That's not enough money. We're going to have a lot of people out there struggling. I hadn't even talked to the crew, but we're going to do a little bit more than that. I'll figure out what my pockets can withstand. Because it's going to be a lot of people, man. You know, Lance, this has got to be I can't imagine how your life is now, going on radio every day trying to talk about nothing.
Well, you know, I'm fortunate, and you know Dunaway and Brown extremely well. And, you know, we can get on there. We can talk a little entertainment. We can still talk SEC football. And, you know, that's one of the things that, you know, hopefully this thing will get under control. And I know you being so involved in the NBA, we'll get the NBA back. We'll get Major League Baseball. And then we've got to have college football. I mean, we've got to have it, right?
Man, you know what's really crazy? Listen, I've always said that we're not teachers, firemen, policemen, doctors, anybody in the armed service. Those are really important, significant jobs. Anybody who's going to be a fireman, teacher, policeman, I admire. Anybody in the service, I admire. Teacher, fireman, like I say. But, man, the world is really strange without sports. I mean, it's really strange without sports. We don't even realize how important, like I said, it's not important in the big picture of life, but you never even realize how important it is for just having something to do. And man, it's been, like I said, we can't even complain because this thing is much bigger than sports, but it's just weird not being able to talk about football, watch basketball. We've been picking the last Final Four teams today, right?
Yeah, yesterday we would have had 2 teams move on, and then today we would have had our final 2 teams head to the Final Four in Atlanta. I know you were going to be very involved with CBS. I mean, and you know, the unfortunate thing, Chuck, is you go back years past, you had 1 or 2 favorites to win this thing. It was so up in the air. I mean, legitimately, you know, teams like Dayton, teams like Creighton. I mean, you had mid-majors that could have won the entire thing.
Well, you know, I reached out to Anthony Grant, who I know from when he was coaching at Alabama, and told him what a magnificent year he had. It was just amazing. And that kid, Obi, should have been the best player in the country. Didn't get a chance to see him play. Rutgers had a great year. You know, Rutgers been not a good team for the last 30 years, but they had a really good team this year. I was really looking forward to watch them in March Madness. Even on the women's side, the young lady who's great at ONSQ, I think that's her name, at Oregon, I was looking forward to her trying to get the chip. You know, my man Gino Auriemma up at Connecticut. You had Don Staley down in South Carolina, who I've known forever. I got to give a shout out to my Auburn Tigers, man, because, you know, I reached out to the coaching staff down at Auburn. I told them, you know, last year obviously was the greatest basketball season in Auburn history. But what they were able to accomplish this year, and they're not going to get any credit or recognition for it. To make it to the Final Four last year, my life was complete. I never thought Auburn would make it to the Final Four. But to come back this year, losing their 3 best players, and to be in the top 25 all season long, man, this is a really great accomplishment. And I was really looking forward, because you said a couple of minutes ago, man, there's no great teams. There's no great teams in March Madness this year. Kansas probably was the best team. I thought at one point Baylor was the best team. But it was going to be fun watching March Madness, because that's the best thing about March Madness, the Cinderellas. And I see this guy up here. Oh, that's my friend Jason, one of my neighbors. He got this Go Dogs crap up there. Jason and Camry are 2 of my neighbors in Atlanta who really babysit me when I was in isolation, man. But I thank all my neighbors at the hotel who were awesome to me. But, man, it's just so weird without sports.
It really is. And I know there's some guys out there that want to throw some questions at you. I want to ask you, though, obviously you guys are doing a great thing here. And I think the only person I know that eats out more than me is you. I'm probably 6 nights a week. And so I know you're missing the service industry. You're missing going and sitting in a bar, having a meal, having a drink. But you guys are giving back. If people go to redmontdistilling.com/relief, just tell us a little bit about the fun and what Redmont Distilling is doing right now.
Well, you said earlier, and I hadn't talked to Mara and Montel and Claude and Eleanor and the good group we got down in Alabama, but the Alabama's fun is you can borrow it. I don't want to say anything specific, because you can borrow up to $300, I think is the number. But we're going to raise as much money as possible. Because like I say, and I think we should do this more than one time, Lance, because I'm looking at this thing from a realistic standpoint. I think we're at least a month away. From close to being anything close to normal. And I just feel bad for anybody. Lance, when I'm in Alabama, we spend 100% of our time at Fleming's. And I just feel for those people. I got some friends who work at Perry. And I can't imagine it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, I've got, across the street from me, Chuck, I've got 2 people, and one of them does work at Fleming's, and she's a career server, and her husband's a career server at Highlands, and they've got 2 small kids. Well, they can't work right now. And as you said, even best case scenario, this thing filters out in a month. It's still, everybody's going to be so behind cash flow. And that's why right now, if you go to redmontdistilling.com/relief, I mean, there is a way to help and give a little relief.
Well, number one, please go to Redmont Distilling, please, and give to the relief fund. Like I said, I'm going to match it up to a good size number. Because like I say, the thing you said, interesting, Lance, even when these people go back to work, a lot of people ain't going to have disposable income to go out and eat. So it's the day that we get to go back to some normalcy, it won't be the same. Because like I say, when we go back to being able to go out and eat, a lot of people are not going to have that disposable income. So any little bit we can do, like I say, hey, I'm not trying to make any money. Redmont, we'll start up. And I wanted to own something in Alabama. Because that is where I'm from. I'm from Leeds, Alabama. Obviously, Birmingham is important to me. We got a great mayor, Mayor Woodfin. And he's been great to me, and we got to support him and make sure that we help all these people who are going to be down and out for the next extended period of time. So, like I said, this Alabama Fund, 100% is going to help anybody who needs help, because Lance, this thing, man, it's going to go on for a long time. And I can't imagine being in the service industry right now, because, you just look at television, you're like, oh, no, you can't survive on just takeout for 2 reasons. Number one, you can't survive on takeout, but also people now, they don't have that, and I hate to be redundant, they're not going to have that disposable income to go out and get takeouts and things like that. So, like I say, and Lance, I know we're going to keep doing this, man.
I look forward to it. Here's what I'm going to do to settle people in, because we want to get some questions for you.
Yes.
I am going to make a cocktail right here, Chuck. So I've got my, and here's what I'm going to do. This is just a summer drink that I like to do, and there's a million different recipes. And while I'm doing this, you can tell us how you mix yours up. But I'm popping my Redmont. I'm going to do a little vodka. You tell me if this sounds good, Chuck. Then I am going to do, I've got some strawberry lemonade. Very good. Pour it in with the vodka. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Sprite. It's a good summer cocktail, Chuck. And I think it's a good thing on a Sunday afternoon to drink a little Redmont vodka.
Well, first of all, any day is a good day for Redmont, just for the record, brother. Hey, let me tell you something. When we were doing some promos, actually getting ready for March Madness, we made a bunch of promos with different ways to drink it. And I always drink my vodka with a splash of cranberry, because I don't want my vodka to drown. Lance, that looks like my drink, actually.
It's transparent. I mean, I've seen yours. Your ice cubes, they run for the door when you pour.
Yo, brother, hey, listen, if you're going to drown your vodka with cranberry juice, that's just stupid. You paid for vodka. You don't want to drown it with cranberry juice.
I agree with you 100%.
But when we were making those promos, getting ready for March Madness, Mara suggested, because she was saying, because she's out in the field, that all these people are drinking just regular Redmont and water. And actually, believe it or not, I'm making a conscious effort to get my fat ass in shape during this time. And because the one thing I don't want to do, which I've made a conscious effort not to do, I am not going to be lazy and fat during this time. Because what happens is there's nothing to do, so you end up just sitting on your fat ass all the time. And I said, you know what? I'm going to use this time to really, really get in shape. And I mean that sincerely. Like, you can't just sit around. First of all, there's nothing on television. I can only watch Swamp People and Triple D so many times.
What, are you not on Netflix right now?
Well, you know, I just learned to use Netflix.
Okay, you got to watch Tiger King. Have you heard about this?
I have. Two of my coworkers have sent me Tiger King. Man, shout out to my boy Gary Burley. My boy Gary Burley, who's married to my girl Bobby Knight, the president of Miles University. I see all these people who I know. So thanks for everybody. They said, is it tuning in?
Yeah, I guess we'll call it.
So listen. I know there's a young lady who I think I might have met her before. She works for Meals on Wheels in Atlanta. So even though this is an Alabama thing, I know I got a bunch of friends over in Georgia. So check out Wheels for Meals over in Atlanta, Georgia, because man, these old people, they can't even go out. I mean, because there's such a disadvantage with this coronavirus thing. It's really unfortunate. So if you got any older people in your family, man, please check on them. Please check on them because, you know, Dr. Samjay Gupta, a guy I really admire and respect a lot, talks about we have a civic duty to don't be selfish and worry about just ourselves. If you got old people in your mom, your dad, your grandparents, man, don't go out and practice social distancing. You know, that's one of the things that I want to make sure I mention today. There's two things I got to mention, man, that really hurt my heart with this whole thing. You know, Lance, when I got my jersey retired by the 76ers, you know who performed for me? Kenny Rogers.
Wow.
And, man,
I didn't realize he had a jumper. I saw the video the other day when he played one of these celebrity games and had about an 18-footer over Jordan. So
Kenny Rogers, rest in peace, man. I want to thank you for being a friend. When I got my jersey retired, you came and sang Through the Years, which is probably one of my favorite songs of all time. I never forgot that. But how I met Kenny had the most cool event that I've ever been to, Lance. Kenny had a farm out in Georgia. I want to say Athens, right beside that Cal College at the University of Georgia. But So he had a contest every year. He would invite 4 jocks, 4 tennis players, 4 basketball players, 4 tennis players, 4 actors. I'm missing a sport. Golf, tennis, basketball, and actors. And it was 4 people on each team. And for the actors portion, we would go fishing on his lake and add up who caught the most fish for the whole week. But we would play basketball one day, tennis one day, and golf one day. But the pro I could never score more than 1 basket at a time. Roscoe Tanner those guys could not serve. It was crazy, but it's one of the most fun weekends.
Okay, so tell me who was on your team. Who was your celebrity? Who was your tennis player? Who was your golf player?
Mark Kakavecchia was my golfer, and he was the best basketball player after me and the NBA players. He was awesome. I think Bruce Boxleitner was our actor. It was called the J.C. Penney Classic, and we actually won some money for that time. And I think my tennis player was Roscoe Tanner. And, Bird went 1 year, Spud Well, Michael went 1 year. And you would stay at his place. He had like 5 houses on the farm. And you would stay there with these guys for like a week. And it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. Like, you stay with these guys all week. We'd have a cookout every night, but we played at 1 sport a day. And like I say, for the actors, we went fishing. He had this humongous pond. So I really want to give a shout out to Kenny Rogers, man. Thanks for being a friend and a good dude. And also, I lost another guy this week, one of the nicest, most gentle man I've ever met, Curly Neal. It sucks when you're not on television. You don't get to give these guys a public shout out. So I want to thank Redmont for letting me get a shout out to Kenny and also Curly Neal. I met Curly Neal a long time ago, obviously with the Globetrotters. Him and Melnark Lemon, who's one of the great people. These guys, man, they've been great basketball ambassadors forever. And I just want to thank those 2 men for everything they did for me. So shout out to the late great Kenny Rogers and late great Curly Neal, just 2 great men.
He is Charles Barkley, of course. I'm Lance Taylor. People are asking me about my shirt here, Chuck. This Redmont Distilling Company. You can go to redmontdistilling.com/relief. 100% of these proceeds are going to help the fund right now. So you guys are doing a great thing. We're trying to give back. You guys are going to match. You haven't figured out the dollar amount yet, but you're going to match.
I think that, number one, when I saw that $5,000 is not enough from my perspective on me. But like I say, we're not going to make a dime. We want y'all to drink Redmont. That's my company, and I really want it to be successful in the long run. But I'm not worrying about that right now. Let's worry about all these workers out there. I want to thank the ABC stores. And I got to give a shout out to 2 ladies who have done a lot of work, Mindy and Rachel at ARH. I want to thank them. But let's really I want y'all to throw some numbers. Alex, I'm not asking everybody to give a fortune, but give me a number that I can match that would put some stress on me. I mean, hey, I'm not working.
Well, hey, here's the good news, Chuck. It's been 18 days since we've had a game, so your bookmaker's not getting any money. You can't gamble on anything. Might as well get that money to somebody.
Lance, I only bet on football.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's
never baseball. You never baseball?
You have to be a total degenerate to bet on baseball. Are you telling me you bet on baseball?
I bet on anything. I bet on presidential elections. I bet on women's soccer, Little League baseball.
You got to be kidding me, man. The only other person I know more of a degenerate than you is my boy Ron Andrigian. He bets on preseason football.
A lot of people do.
You have to be a total moron to bet on people who are not even going to be in the league once the season starts.
Very true.
Are you kidding me?
Do you want to take some of these questions? I'll throw them at you. I'll start with one question for you.
Yes.
1 month. Okay, 1 month in isolation. You've got to be with one person in the world. Who would it be?
Probably my daughter. That's it. Hey, being with somebody all the time, man, that's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. But because let me tell you something, those 10 days I spent in Atlanta in seclusion, it felt like a month because there was nobody. They had actually, it was crazy just not being able to go anywhere for 10 days, man. It was crazy.
Okay, somebody wants to know how Mango and Yoo-Hoo are. Your dog.
Oh, that's a bad subject, man. Don't make me start crying on it. I had to put both of my dogs down.
Oh.
And let me tell you something. You know, people around me say that I'm a robot and I show no emotion. Let me tell you something. I don't think I've ever cried as hard as when I had to put those two. Actually, I had to put Yoo-Hoo down and Mango died in my arms. And, man, let me tell you something. I ain't never getting another dog. That was the most painful experience of my life.
I said the same thing. It took 3 years.
Well, it hasn't even been a year for me, but right now, I'm not feeling any way that I can go through that because to me, I don't want to keep repeating feeling that bad. I really don't want, because like I say, I don't even get emotional like when people die, but like when that was really painful for me. So, man, I'm a dog lover. But man, that was painful for me.
Bad question to start with. So
that's okay, brother. It's not a bad question. No, you know what's really interesting about that, Lance? People ask me that all the time, and I just kind of gloss over it because it's so painful. I said they're doing fine, so I'm glad I'm able to get that out there in mass.
I'm supposed to give a shout out to Rob Zilla. I guess he's the guy that designed this awesome shirt. Again, you guys are giving 100% of these proceeds. They've got a variety of colors. These are really, really cool shirts from Redmont Distilling. So go to redmontdistilling.com/relief. We are raising money right now for the service and the hospitality industry. A lot of these people are really suffering. They're without jobs right now. So make sure you check that out.
Hey, have they told you that, you know, we got a gin and we're going to change the name to Vulcan when all this stuff is over. So go to Redmont Distilling. But once this thing is over, we change because they were too similar, the vodka and the gin.
Okay.
So we're going to change the name of the gin to Vulcan when we get back.
Okay, so if the NBA comes back,
wow,
you had Lakers leading the West, you had the Bucks leading the East. Who would you see in the finals? Do you think it's as simple as Lakers Bucks?
No, I don't. I still got the Clippers. I got the Clippers and I got the Bucks. I think that those are the three best teams. Totally agree with that. It's going to come down to three people: Anthony Davis, Eric Bledsoe, and Chris Middleton. Those are the three guys that are going to decide who wins the championship. You know, it's interesting, Lance. I was on Colin Cowherd's show Cowherd the other day. I'm a big Cowherd fan, and we were talking about players under pressure because LeBron's going to do his thing. But if you go back, you know, everybody made a big deal how great LeBron played against Milwaukee and the Clippers. But if you actually go back and look at those games, and I watched both of those games, top to bottom. I don't normally watch a lot of games top to bottom because, you know, I'm looking for really intricate things. In a 7-game series, a lot going to change from game 1 to game 7. So Anthony Davis led them in scoring both of those games. Even though LeBron played great, Anthony Davis was the reason, and he's the reason. If the Lakers win the championship, he's going to be the reason. And if the Bucks going to win the championship, Giannis going to do his thing. Okay. But Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe from Birmingham, Alabama, shout out to Birmingham, those are the two guys. They're going to have to get them to the finals. They got to at least get to the finals, or they're going to have to worry about Giannis leaving there after next year.
Okay, I got another good question for you. First, I want to remind you, not only redmontdistilling.com/relief to give to the fund right now, it's the Redmont, let me get this right, theredmonttea.com. Theredmonttea.com. Both will benefit the fund. So theredmonttea.com is where you can get these T-shirts. 100% of those proceeds are going to the relief fund right now. So make sure you check that out, theredmonttea.com. Okay, somebody just asked, what current player reminds you of yourself the most right now?
Well, a lot of people try to compare Zion to me. I think he's a lot more explosive. I can't wait to meet him. I've never met him. He's been fantastic. He's been fantastic, to be honest with you. But he's a lot more explosive. I'm looking forward to see how tall he really is. I'm really excited to see how tall he really is. And I'm not going to compare because I think he's got a lot. He can really. But I must say, a player who, every little short, fat guy, they compare him to me. So I'm not sure how to take, I'm not sure how to take any of those when they compare people. I just don't. The game has changed they got all these little dudes running around shooting threes now. So it's going to be very interesting if any big guys ever get to play. They got the kid coming out of Memphis this year, Wiseman.
Yeah.
He's a 7-foot guy. But it's going to be very interesting to see how many big guys ever play in the NBA. I think it's a mistake personally. But every time I say that, they call me the get off my lawn guy. But I really think we should not just live and die by the threes. I think that's not good for the league. I think it has a place for the league. But I hate when we're just going to shoot threes. If they make them, they look great. If they don't, we just had a bad game shooting threes. There's actually other strategy to the game.
Well, you were mentioning the Auburn basketball program and an unbelievable Final Four run last year, and obviously Bruce Pearl has just done beyond a tremendous job, one of the best coaches in all of basketball right now. Somebody was asking about Isaac Okoro. Unfortunately, he's going to be a one and done. That's what you expect with guys that talented. Where do you think his draft stock is, and ultimately, what type of player will Okoro be in the NBA?
Well, it's interesting. That's a great question. Number one, I would love to see them keep these guys in college for 2 years. Nobody other than LeBron James, there's never been an NBA player who was ready for the NBA day one. You look at the great Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett. Those are three probably best high school players. All those guys struggle except LeBron. And Isaac is a terrific player. I wish he would stay another year, but I understand there's a lot of money at stake. I just don't know how to answer that question because he going to fit into the mold with the way the NBA is going now. You're going to see how much more he can improve because, they're all 6'5" to 6'7", 6'8". They all play out on the wing. So he's going to be in a basket with a bunch of good. He's got to go to the right coach. He had a great coach in college. Let me tell y'all folks one thing about us at Auburn. We might not win, but we ain't never going to be out-coached. I think Bruce Pearl is, from an X and O standpoint, I think he's one of the best 3 or 4 or 5 coaches in college basketball. I'm talking about from an X and O standpoint. Listen, Auburn I love our players, but you can say we're not getting the guys that Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, Michigan State. We're not getting those players. Our players are coached up. And I tell any player out there, if you want to get good coaching and he ain't going to kiss your ass, he going to coach you. If you ever seen Bruce Pearl coach during the game or at practice, he does not play favorites. He don't play favorites at all. He going to coach you. And what they did this year, you think about this, Lance. They lost their 2 starting guards. They really basically both were seniors. They lost the number 15 pick in the draft. And they've been in the top 25 all year. All year. They never had a bad streak where they lost 4 or 5 games in a row. But they compete every single night, and they are well coached. And Bruce is one of the best in-game adjustment guys. Bruce is great. Obviously, Shevsky, Tom Izzo is great. That coach out at Wichita State is great. The guy who just took over at UCLA, Mick Cronin.
Yeah.
They were awful the first 2 months of the season. They were arguably the hottest team going into March Madness this year.
Yeah, you didn't want to play them at the end of the year.
Huh?
You didn't want to play them in March.
But see, that's how I judge my coaches. If they don't have, if you don't have the best player, but your team keep getting better and peaking and peaking and peaking, That's what I tell you. I said, we ain't never going to get out coached at Auburn. I'm proud of where our program is. I'm excited about football season. You know, the young kid, Knicks, you know, they always say, what's the best thing about freshmen? They become sophomores. And I really think with a year under his belt, you know, we had a good recruiting year. You know, obviously it's going to be the defense thing is going to be tough. You know, I love our defensive coordinator, but man, he is replacing 3 guys across that front line, especially, you know, Darius obviously right now, I think they got him going 6 or 7. Davidson is going, they got him going late first, early second. So you don't just replug in those guys. So our defense is going to have to reload, but our offense should be great this year.
Charles Barkley hanging out with us. We're going to be on here about 5-10 more minutes taking your questions. Anything you want to throw at Charles?
No, wait. How long we been on?
I've been on 39 minutes. I think you've been on 31.
Well, let's stay. Hey, what the hell I got to do?
I got nothing to do. So as long
I ain't got shit to do, brother.
Yeah, as long as my phone don't die, we're good, and we got plenty of battery. I got to remind people, because I got this wrong. This is not the T-shirt you can get. I was one of the original to get this shirt. It's a new shirt. It's really cool, though. You can go to the Redmont TEE.com. The Redmont T, spell it out, TEE. Shirts are $30, but all that money goes to the relief fund. You can also go to redmontdistilling.com/relief. I don't know if you realize this, Chuck. $8 billion is what we spend in food and drink and hospitality throughout the state every single year. And right now, obviously, a lot of these restaurants, they're shut down. A lot of the workers, from people in the kitchen to the servers to the hostesses, they're out of work right now. So you guys are doing an incredible thing. Over 200,000 people right here in this state, in the state of Alabama, already out of work, but you guys are giving back. We haven't figured out the figure that makes you nervous yet, but you are going to match a dollar figure at redmontdistilling.com/relief. Yes,
and you know, I see all these what they call it when things come across the screen, tweets or something.
Something like that. I'm like you, man. I'm technically challenged.
Yeah, you know, some of these people are pretty funny. This one guy says, "Yeah, just got a point. None of us got shit to do right now."
It's very true, man. I'm trying to tell people, though, you got to get outside at some point, man. You cannot lay on the couch and just watch TV. You got to get some kind of exercise. You got to get some sunlight. You got to get something healthy going.
You know, Lance, that's actually, I told you, I'm taking this time to get in shape. I bought a bike.
A Peloton?
No, I got a Peloton too.
Okay, I'm Pelotoning right now.
I'm actually sitting in my gym as we speak, but I bought a Peloton, but I bought a road bike. Wow. I've been going riding every single day. I'm going to get my fat behind in shape. Okay, they're called comments. Okay, my bad. Okay. But some of them are questions too, just for the record. They're not all comments, dude. But no, I got a Peloton sitting right over here.
Do you ride it though?
I have.
Okay.
But I bought a bike to go out on the street. I bought one with those big fat tires.
Yeah.
It's really made for the beach, but it's made for my fat behind, so I really like it.
Do you wear tights?
Somebody just sent me some. What's this show, Tiger King? I'm hearing a lot about it.
I'm going to try to explain it. It's 7 episodes. It just dropped on Netflix 9 days ago. The main character, his name is Joe Exotic. He's an egomaniac. He's a polygamist. He's a gay polygamist. Let me go on and throw that in there. He's got 2 husbands, I think. He always carries a 6-shooter on his hip, and he's got a wild cat zoo. He's got a big cat zoo. So he's got tigers, he's got lions, he's got monkeys, he's got alligators. I can't really explain. It's a complete shit show. It's insane. You've got to watch it though. It's addictive. It's well worth the watch.
Well, you know,
but it's also got murder and mayhem. So he is actually, I don't want to give anything away, but he has got a rival out there that she's got a big cat refugee where she takes the cats in, and he puts a contract out on her head. It's crazy.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You know, 2 of my favorite shows. I've watched them so much, I'm sick of them. I watch Swamp People a lot, and I watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now, I've watched those shows probably 45% of the time in the last couple weeks. I've got to learn. I actually learned Steve Fiorello, one of my bosses at Turner, taught me how to use Netflix. So man, I just watched my first thing on Netflix.
What was it?
Aaron Hernandez. Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's the only thing I've ever watched. I just learned how to use Netflix, and man, this
Did you ever play with anybody that was? I mean, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, who's the craziest guy you've ever played with? I mean,
well, I don't want to call him out because he's still out there.
Well, I'm not going to say somebody that would actually kill somebody, but I mean, borderline.
Well, he did. Yeah, he actually did.
Okay. Well,
did he get away with it? He got away with it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That'll be easy for people to Google. But let me just tell you this, though.
Jesus.
You know, one thing that's really good about the NBA today, you saw that Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan started getting psychological help. I think that's one of the really great things the NBA is really done the last couple of years because, you know, Lance, we're so young and stupid going back to my day. We knew guys that had issues. We knew guys that had issues, and we'd like make fun of them. We weren't smart enough and mature enough to know that they needed psychological help. And that's it's two regrets that I have in my life. Number one, I wish that when I was in college, I would have been a better leader as far as it came to education, because, you know, it worked out great for me, but I wish a lot of these kids would take their education a lot more serious because they're not going to make it in the NBA. And I wish I had been a very good leader and made sure all these guys who I knew weren't going to make it in the NBA, I wish I had been an education guy for them. And also, even when I got to the NBA, when I got to teams, I played on 4 teams. I wish that 3 teams, excuse me. I wish that I had been knew when guys had psychological issues.
Well, you know, it's one of my concerns, Chuck, you know, as we go through this and you know, I think the question when you're talking amongst friends, you know, when do you think this thing's going to end? And obviously nobody's got an answer, but on a psychological level, as you said, man, it's just been a couple of weeks, but you know, I sit here and, you know, I've got a pretty big backyard and I've got a dog and I've got a girlfriend and I've got, you know, things to do. But imagine somebody that's in New York City in an apartment right now and they're by themselves and they can't go anywhere psychologically on so many levels. And that's one of the things that I fear, you know, where are we going to be in this country psychologically for a lot of people once we come out of this?
Well, and for the people who are struggling financially, who got a wife and kids, girlfriend and kids, it's going to be worse for those type of people because they're not going to be able to make ends meet. Those are people, one of the reasons I want to do this. Like I say, Lance, I'd appreciate if you
let me plug it. Keep your thought, Chuck. RedmontDistilling.com/relief. Right now, raising money for the service, the hospitality industry. More than 200,000 people in that business right here in the state of Alabama have been laid off. Chuck and his team at Redmont Vodka, they're doing a great job of actually giving back, and Chuck's going to match a lot of these donations. So go online and check it out.
Well, and like I say, man, it's going to be a lot of people out there who need help, and I just want to do something. I want to keep doing something because it's just going to be, like I say, I don't think this thing's going to peak for at least another 3 weeks to a month. Before we could even consider, shout out to my boy Jake, Soul Food Cafe. I go there all the time when I'm in Birmingham. I love my boys. So if you get a chance to go to Jake's when it opens back up, please go out. But, you know, Lance, this thing, and like I say, I don't know. I don't even know. I'm not even going to lie. But I think we're at least a month away from opening things back up.
I don't know if you're supposed to say this. Do you think we will have some sort of an abbreviated rest of the regular season and then playoffs in the NBA? If you're just guessing, whether it's at one city or, you know, it's in front of no fans, do you think ultimately this summer we will have NBA basketball?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's too much money at stake for the TV networks and the NBA. And we do have a huge advantage. We can play basketball in the middle of the summer. There's no other sports that are going on. So I've always been a proponent of something last. Okay, the NFL is King Kong. College football is a little under King Kong. Everything else is just trying to scratch a little piece of the surface. I've always thought in the last 1 year we went out on strike. I can't remember what year it was. We came back at Christmas. We had the highest ratings we ever had. And I remember talking to some people about that. They're like, well, people excited for basketball. I said, can't be that. I said, it's probably more people pissed that a bunch of millionaires and billionaires fought over money. And he says, oh, that's a good point. But what we figured out was there was no other sports going on. I've always believed that the NBA, shout out to my boy, Ro Parrish. He said 2011 was the year of the lockout. What we should do is we should start like we do every year. We play 5 games on Christmas. We should shorten the NBA season to 75 or 70 games. Start on Christmas like we do, have 5 days, have a big blowout.
Agree.
Nothing going on but a bunch of crappy bowl games. And because the only thing really matters now is the national championships in the semifinals. So you would really have a whole thing to yourself from December the 25th until football starts late August. There's no reason we can't play basketball in June. We already played to the middle of June. We go to June, July. I think that would be good enough. You want some time for these guys to give some time, but I have no reason why we don't go to July and just keep playing. But we still should just do something about shortening the NBA season and not start until December. Because like I say, nobody can compete with pro football and college football. They are King Kong.
I'm going to throw an NFL at you real quick. I want to remind you, RedmontT.com, $30 for the T-shirt, not the one I've got on, but some really cool new designs out there. 100% of those profits or those proceeds will go to the relief fund. It's what we're doing today. He's Charles Barkley. I'm Lance Taylor. RedmontDistilling.com/relief. Okay, I know you know Peyton Manning very well.
Yes.
And reports were they were going to offer him upwards of $17 million a year to do 17 games of Monday Night Football, and he turned it down. Is that insanity?
Well, I think it's different for Peyton because Peyton probably made $250 million when he was playing. So, I mean, first of all, yeah, me and you going to take that type of money because we didn't make it. I made a good money in the NBA. I tell you, the most money I made in the NBA was $5 million.
It was your last year, wasn't it?
That was my last year, and I couldn't even play. And I couldn't even play then. I couldn't even play dead then.
I mean, are you amazed at some of the money that guys are making right now? And just, I mean, obviously you would have been a max player, but
it's amazing. You know what? Bless them. I never want to be a hate on these young guys because, listen, man, the TV revenue is amazing. You know, between us and ESPN, we both pay $2.5 billion a year. And the players get, I want to say, 48% of that. So the money's there. They wouldn't be paying these guys. But, man, it's amazing. God bless them. I mean, because I made more money than Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell, and I'm never well, you can't mention me and Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem, and all us in the same sentence, but I made more than those guys. But I just want the guys to appreciate how lucky and blessed they are and don't think that they're getting that money just because they're good players. Because some of these bums can't play dead, and they're making $25 million a year. But they were just they were born at the right time. But bless them for that.
Okay, so has this thrown your timeline off? You've always told us it's 60. You're done. You're shutting it down. Now, because we might have an abbreviated season or we might not, for whatever reason, worst case scenario, not basketball till next year, does it set your timeline back or no? Are you still at 60 shutting it down?
You know, Lance, I don't even know the answer to that question because I don't want to be an idiot or a fool and sound insensitive. I haven't even asked TNT, am I getting paid for March Madness or the rest of the season? Because I think that would be really insensitive because there's a lot of people who are going to be in a lot worse shape than me. So I don't even know if I'm getting paid for March Madness. or say like if I'm gonna get paid for the rest of the season, I would be foolish and insensitive to ask TNT, because the first thing I asked TNT was, are these people here gonna get paid? I was talking about the guys who I work with every Thursday and 30 days, 40 days, and 40 nights during the playoffs. Like, I was like, yo, man, are these? I called my boss and I said, he said, well, we're going to pay them up to a certain point. I said, what point is that? And he said, we haven't figured it out yet. So, Lance, you know me, man. I want to play golf and I want to fish. I'm not going to work till the day I die. My number right now is 60. But like I say, listen, man, if I'm so lucky and blessed in my life, but I don't think I'm going to be working past 60. Like I say, we can play golf and fish as much as you want to, brother. You know that's me.
Okay, Chuck, we've got we're going to wrap up in the next couple of minutes. We're going to try to keep this under an hour. We're going to do it again, and so we'll continue to promote. Hopefully people are following on Instagram.
How much money do you have? Any money? Have you talked to anybody about any money we've raised?
I will check right now. I will see how it's going. I know the shirts are selling, and again, redmonttee.com, 100% of those proceeds.
How about this, Lance? I know you don't have a lot of power over there because Mara and Eleanor will kick your ass.
Well, they would.
Those are the two, and Claude too, and Montel and John Hudson, all my business partners. My man Jonathan, who I love. Also, again, shout out to Mindy and Rachel. Can we keep this thing open?
Are you talking about keep the video going or?
No, the fund.
Yeah, that's going to be a question for them. So, again, I want to remind you, while we get an answer for that, go to redmontdistilling.com/relief. Redmont Vodka, gin, they're giving back right now to the community. We've got over 200,000 people in the service industry. They're out of work right now. A lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are stressed out. You guys are doing more than your part to give back. We're drinking Redmont Vodka here. Loving it.
Hey, what is your Eleanor, the brains of the operation, and the boss of Claude, I might add. How about can I get on your radio show Wednesday?
Yeah, of course.
How about if we leave the fund open until Wednesday, and I'll call you Wednesday. We'll set up a time, and depending on what the number is, I'll match it.
Wow. Okay. So there you go. You've got 3 more days. We'll set this up. Our show is between 6 and 10 every morning on Jax 94.5 throughout the state of Alabama. Chuck will join us on the show. And you've got days that will be open. I'm just trying to get this right, Chuck. Fund is open, and over $1,000 has already been raised just while we've been sitting here just bullshitting back and forth. So that's good. Well,
so hey, Lance, give me you and the guys give me a plug Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yes.
And I'll call you Wednesday. I'll call you Wednesday, and we'll figure out how much I'm gonna put into the fund, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Hey, real quick, somebody wants to know where Andrew Toney is.
The best player I ever played with, the guy who I want to kill because he's the guy who taught me how to play golf. He's living in Atlanta, Georgia. He doesn't do interviews. He's the best guy, but he doesn't do interviews, but he's doing great. But I'm always hate him. I always tell people he's the greatest player I ever played with. But I'm always going to hate him because he's the guy who made me play golf. And that game's been driving me damn nuts since then.
Okay, so we've got somebody from Finland watching, by the way. They said shout out.
I just saw that.
That's crazy.
Hey, listen, man. I want to personally thank every person who gave a comment, have a question. Man, we got to help these people. We're all so lucky and blessed. And I want to thank my entire team at Redmont. It's a lot of people involved. But, man, let's try to do something good. Let's try to, like I say, I'm going to keep this thing open until Wednesday. Shout out to my boy up in Toronto, my favorite city in the world.
Okay, I got another thing here, Chuck. Redmont's going to donate $1 per drink that is tagged on at Redmont Distilling on those picks up to another $5,000. So this is just an easy way to generate another $5,000. That's $1 per drink you tag on at Redmont Distilling. up to $5,000 right there. ABC stores are open. I know they're probably not open today being Sunday, but all week, get in and support the product. You guys have got workers. You guys have got people that still need to be employed, the ABC employees. I mean, it's a huge trickle down. And again, proceeds when you purchase this are going to go back to service and industry folk that don't have jobs right now. So redmontdistilling.com/relief. Get to your ABC store. Get a couple of bottles of Redmont vodka. It's a great product. You and I enjoy it all the time.
Hey, brother. Hey, Lance. You know I love you like a brother, man. You make sure you tell them your other brothers over on the show I said hello. Hey, guys, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Do me a favor, guys. I want to thank – it's going to stay open for another 3 days, guys. Give me a number. We're not making any money. We're not making any money. Just please give. It's for a great cause.
Chuck, thank you. Again, redmontdistilling.com/relief, the RedmontTee.com. You can get the T-shirts right now, $30 per, and all of that money is going to go to the Relief Fund. Chuck, stay safe, stay healthy, watch Tiger King. So I expect when I call you Wednesday, you're going to binge this thing. You probably knock it out tonight. When we talk to you Wednesday on the show to see where we are on what you're going to match dollar-wise, we've got to talk Tiger King, okay?
Okay, brother. Hey, thank y'all. Hey, thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for laying in.
See you, Chuck.
Logging in.
Yeah, that's it, logging in with your comments and questions. That's Charles Barkley. I'm Lance Taylor. Listen to us Monday through Friday from 6 to 10. We'll continue to update you on where we are with Redmont Vodka and the money that we're raising right now for hospitality and service workers throughout the state of Alabama. Thank you guys so much. Have a great Sunday. Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you, brother. Be safe, everybody. War down, Eagle.